dangers are mostly for people that have mental instability or poor health. I should say also that preparation also can help make the experience a better one. It's not just safety, it's to make the experience into a more smooth one that if you know what's coming, or if you at least have a better idea. Unexpected things can always happen, but it helps to relieve anxiety. Even if you have an intense experience during the session, you can remember that ayahuasca wears off pretty fast, and it's not going to be a very long-lasting experience of sadness or fear or whatever the negative emotion that you're processing is going to last for just a limited period of time. And sometimes having that experience can free you of that fear, or free you of those feelings. So to be able to let it go and get it out of you, it helps to be enthusiastic about that process, that you want it to happen, not that you're going to hold on, oh, now I'm scared, I'm going to lock up and freeze, because that's the thing that makes the experience unpleasant, is when you don't surrender. So surrender is a big word in ayahuasca. In the ayahuasca sessions, when people are having a hard time, don't fight it, relax and let it happen, because then you can get it out of yourself, and then you're at a different level when the session's over. People who are not qualified, or people who don't know how to make ayahuasca, or people who want to make a really strong ayahuasca because they think that's what people are looking for, all those things play into the marketplace where people who are wanting help are shopping. So to know where the people come from, what their ideas are, and to be clear that they're going to be involved with you before and after the sessions is important. Modern people drinking in an indigenous style is the most popular way that people consume ayahuasca nowadays. But people don't know about the background of indigenous use, and don't know what the different groups who use ayahuasca, what's their background of indigenous beliefs. They sing in a language that we don't understand. They have traditions that we are not familiar with. So having someone guide you through that and participating in that seems to be like a very strong and a way that people have been doing it for hundreds of years safely. And so imitating that style and format even for people that don't have the beliefs of the indigenous people seems to be working for people. It's people who are coming back from ayahuasca sessions claiming that they've had good revelations or insights and praising it. And so that's the style that I think Soltara is using, but using also support from psychotherapists and more modern ideas about psychology and transformation. So combining those two, using the template of indigenous use and combining it with modern support of modern psychology, and those two things together, I think, are going to reap the best rewards for people that are trying ayahuasca for the first time. It's good to know that your session can be difficult when you drink ayahuasca, so you're not surprised, because you may vomit and you may have diarrhea. You can have a lot of emotions come up, very strong feelings of sadness or fear. People sometimes think they're dying. And to know that those things are common. It's not uncommon for people to have all of those. So expect that to happen. If it doesn't, that's okay. But if it does, it's a part of the process of healing. And it's a part of the process of your body purging out the things that are unnecessary or bad, and making room for additional growth and space for you to have new insights. So to minimize the fear and the surprises that you might not expect is a big part of the preparation. Even if you're not going to be able to avoid those things, if you know they're coming, it's easier. And everybody has, if they drink long enough, are going to have some of those experiences, and they're healing. Well, I think ayahuasca is just a part of people's development. People who are drawn to it, it's not going to be a quick fix. It can show you a lot, and many people have said that it's like having 10 years of therapy in one night, and that's great, but your whole life is going to still be the same as it was when you go drink the ayahuasca and come back and have your revelations. Then the part that's important is trying to implement that in your life. It can be a lifetime path, or it can be something that can aid in any kind of therapeutic process, or people who are ill have many times sought it out to help cure physical illnesses, or depression. It helps with depression. So it's an adjunct to other things in your life. It's a tool, and it's a teacher, and it's like some people call it a mother, and it's a very it seems to have a loving presence. So it helps you, and it helps you even when it seems like it's punishing you, or it seems like it's showing you very negative things. Those are things you need to see. So to approach ayahuasca with an open heart, and to know that even if you have an unpleasant experience, it's good for you. It's going to make you feel better in the long run. If you're coming to drink ayahuasca and you're on some psych medicines, you should discontinue them. Of course, speak to your doctor first before you discontinue any medication, but people have been told, or I've seen in different internet forums, that taking ayahuasca if you're on a SSRI can be fatal. It's never been proven to be fatal. There's something called serotonin syndrome that was a theoretical construct based on the idea that MAO inhibitors, which are antidepressants that are rarely prescribed anymore, have different reactions if you eat certain foods or take other medicines. But the MAO inhibition in ayahuasca is not that same kind of MAO inhibition. So those results have never happened. There's been no reports of people having any kind of fatal, or even that they need to go to the hospital or anything like that from drinking ayahuasca. Mixing these drugs with ayahuasca isn't a good idea. Cocaine or heroin or amphetamines, they're all contraindicated for using with ayahuasca, and I don't think there's any shaman that's mixing these kind of drugs with the use of ayahuasca. So to be sure that you're not doing that, because that could really backfire and make the experience a very negative one. Indigenous groups who use ayahuasca usually have a diet or a dieta that can last up to 1 year for people who are training to be shamans. But for most people who drink in retreats nowadays, there's different lengths of dietas that prohibit usually pork, salt, alcohol and drugs, and sex around the time of the ceremony for differing lengths of time before and after. And one idea that indigenous people sometimes say is that the ayahuasca plant is jealous and doesn't want to have other substances in your body to counteract it. And other people have found that having a dieta makes the ceremonies themselves more enjoyable, less difficult, less vomiting, less physical problems. So it helps to purify the physical form, and it also is a discipline that is preparing you for the session in both physically and emotionally, by helping limit the number of things that you're doing to have sensual pleasures in your life, focusing more on what's going to happen in the future. You're going to have a spiritual experience, and you're going to be purified to some degree in order to have that experience. Ayahuasca in some cultures is referred to as la purga, which is the purge. And that's the main purpose that they think the ayahuasca has, is to clear out these negative things, either physical things that sometimes parasites and other things in people's bodies, or more likely for Westerners who are drinking, it would be emotional things. Many times it feels like the session is getting more and more intense and almost unbearable. And then people vomit. And after that, visions open up and they feel more relaxed and have new insights. So it's a good thing to vomit. And it's just one way that the body has of getting rid of something. So in the case of an ayahuasca session, it's getting rid of negative things that you don't want to keep. You don't want to hang on to it. You don't want to prevent yourself from vomiting. And you sort of can't force yourself to vomit in an ayahuasca session either. Like, it doesn't make sense to stick your finger down your throat to make yourself vomit, because it's a clearing process that's happening naturally, and that's part of what happens at the end of it. And you can't cut it off or try to make it happen sooner, because the process is taking its own time with the medicine. And also there can be diarrhea, which has the same function as clearing out. And it's a little less convenient than vomiting in a session, but it's also something that's positive and shouldn't be prevented or tried to take medicine to make it not happen. You want to be purified and cleared out so that you can have fresh insights and new understanding. That's basically the purpose of purging, and it's a good thing.